So, Rent contains what many people would say is controversial material. And even within the casting process for this, once we cast the production and parents found out what the show was about, some people were forced to drop it, which was shocking. I mean, the content of the show is no different than things that we see on a daily basis living in this city. The show deals with AIDS, it deals with gentrification, it deals with class war, it deals with poverty, it deals with artists, it deals with friendship, it deals with love. And that's really what the message of the show
It's
is.
just bringing a community of artists together. But for me, I love the collaboration that takes place. That's why I love theater, because it's about collaboration. It's not about just any one person. It's a team of people coming together, a team of different departments coming together.
Everyone's finally coming together. It's no longer vocal does their thing and drama does their own thing. Everyone comes together to put on a show that everyone wants to watch.
What's added to the experience and my appreciation for Rent as a production is this cast and the community that's come out of it. My directing, my choreography and stuff for the show, I'm all fine with that, but I don't know if I could ever recreate it in not having this cast, because they've been so flexible, they've been so giving, they've been so wonderful. It's been a great experience.
The hardest thing about working in the show is time management, especially if you do other things outside of school, like if you take lessons, if you're on sports teams, if you just do different activities, finding time to rehearse. So I feel like that was the hardest thing for me.
And the rehearsal process is a lot. It's been pretty consistent throughout the entire school year, but it's necessary. You can never practice enough, and the one thing any production never has is enough time. So the more time we have being here and just working on the things, even if we think we know them, you can only go up from practice. So the more improvement, the better.
Working with these people for so long, for the past 8 months, has really they've become like a family to me, and like we've all just gotten so much closer as a group. Doing it with this group of people, it really helped us become closer, and getting to be able to say that they are my Rent family, probably for the rest of my life, is really just an experience that I would have never given up.
The ensemble in this show is incredible, and I have to give them a special shout out because we didn't double cast the ensemble, and they have been at every rehearsal. We rehearse 2 Saturdays in the fall and then every weekend from January until we open, and they've not had a weekend off.
In general, my favorite thing probably being the 3 characters that I am. I love that each character is different and each character has their own personality, and through the experiences and through my work as a cast member, I've been able to develop these characters to the best of my ability.
The members are they're all new this year, and I'm so proud of them because none of them except for Brendan Coe, who is our auxiliary percussionist, none of them have ever played a Broadway show.
I didn't actually audition. I was in it last year. I was part of the Little Shop pit band, and Ms. Bess decided to bring me back again this year, and I'm very grateful for that.
Well, I auditioned just because I wanted to do something new, something different. I didn't want to just be in the orchestra for 4 years. I wanted to actually be a part of something. This is the first time I've done this sort of thing, so I'm kind of new to it, but it's been going pretty well.
I auditioned for the pit band because, number one, it's one of the most exclusive ensembles. Yeah, there's only a handful of people in there. And the musical itself has a really important message that I want to help communicate.
The main reason I auditioned to be in Rent was because a lot of people wanted me to, and I just have to be popular, so I gave in to peer pressure and I did it. I didn't really want to at first, but eventually I got convinced.
It was a mix between peer pressure and just taking a chance, really. And once I got into musical theater, I sort of fell in love with it, and I just kept on doing it ever since.
The thing that pretty much made me want to be a part of Rent musical theater in general was kind of because I had done musical theater all my life, and coming to school as a vocal major, you sing musical theater songs, but you don't get to actually put on a show or whatever. So that's really what drew me to musical theater.
My favorite thing about Rent is the message that gets across from it. If you listen to all the songs, you kind of understand that it's about living together in a community and loving life for what it is. Even though you're slowly dying or whatever problems you're facing, you just got to keep pushing through and remember who's around you.
My favorite part of Rent is hearing it in sorry, hearing it in my students' voices. I hear that before we put the production on, and then they bring it to life, and it's just my favorite part.
We have an amazing bunch of students in stagecraft this year, really dedicated, really hardworking, putting in the hours. They've been amazing, and they've, they showed up to load in all this metal off of the truck, and they were here to build it on a Saturday, and they are really the muscle behind this kind of production.
We're both going to college for that now, in different kind of fields for it. I just feel like stagecraft, even if it's not your thing at the end of the year, you're gonna leave there with a second family.
You learn how to work together and you learn how to work with other people and still be very civil about it.
The crew family just keeps on growing. It's never just a new family. It's just an expansion. And you're gonna leave there learning, tools that, you might not work in a theater ever again, but you'll just have a different frame of mind. And it just it takes what you could do and applies it to a team, which is just incredible.
When I announced that I was going to do Rent as our production this year, I already knew going into it that I wanted Andre Vasquez to do lights, and my hope was that Mr. Buell would do the scenic design. And he said yes, he was really excited about approaching this show. But from the get-go, we had some different ideas of how that would go. I mean, my job as the director is to be the visionary and say, these are the spaces that I need, and this is what I see, but then to also honor their artistic ability and allow them to do their job as designers.
There's tape outlined on the floor, and you're so excited because you're like, this is going to be here, this is going to be here, and then you get to the stage and the entire set is there, and it's like an entire world was created.
I gave him a rendering of what I wanted in terms of structure, and then he took my ideas and came up with this gigantic 3-story set that met the needs of the production, but also added an aesthetic that has proved to be an invaluable contribution to the production.
The set is crazy. So it's like, we only got to work with the set starting 2 weeks ago. So it was really daunting that we were gonna have to work in it anyways, because it's 3 stories tall. But working on the set is it really helps you get into that world that you're supposed to be in. But working on the set really brings all of the elements of the show together and really helps you feel like you are in the late 80s, early 90s, makes you feel like everything that's happening is real.
So the 3-story set is the most terrifying thing I've ever gone on in my life because I'm so scared of heights and I'm scared of falling and I'm scared of something falling on me. So for the first 2 weeks that we were on it, I cried every single time I was on the set.
The set is 3 levels. It's amazing. It looks like it's just on a construction site in the middle of New York City. and it's crazy.
So we have the lower class, the middle class, and the upper class, and that's all at some point or another shown in the piece, where Benny's on the first time we see Benny, he's on the top because he has the most money. And we see all of the bohemians on the ground because they have no money, they're artists, and they're starving. So we were able to use it to kind of further the idea of this class war that's going on at this time.
So this year is different to a lot of the musicals that Ms. Best put on before, in that the pit is not actually in the pit, we're on stage. So that's a different, we're like characters.
The difference that the set makes for the pit is all of our sound is contained in this little tiny box.
Well, we're underneath the entire thing, so it's not much to see from where we are, but it shakes a lot because of the people dancing on it and us playing the music, so it's pretty intense.
And then we actually feel people walking above us, which is a little scary at times because the set starts to move, and if that thing collapses, it's not good for the pit.
You know, every year there's a handful of students that really finds that this is their passion and this is where they want to go with their college and their careers. Kids are really moving into this, and we work at such a professional level that they get an experience here that really places them in competition with, you know, applicants for some of the better programs.
So Contact, it's about the couples kind of coming together, becoming intimate. And to make a long story short, we obviously couldn't portray that on stage outright.
Contact is the part when we use what's called a kabuki drop to make the curtains drop out of the sky.
And then we're trying to figure out how do we create that, or even purchase the parts and then just build it here.
You know, being in the world of YouTube, it's just some of those things you look up and I kind of figured out how to do it on a large scale.
I think it works flawlessly now. You know, it all depends how you rig it. You have to rig it just right and pull the strings just right. But it's a pretty cool effect, and I think it's one of my favorite moments and my proudest moments of the show, that we were able to create this, and the effect. You know, it's really impactful, and I was really proud of that moment.
All right, guys, this is it. This is what you've worked so hard for months and months and months and months. You shouldn't have any anxiety because you feel unprepared. We are certainly prepared. You've been running this for weeks now, working on it since June. All of this time that you spent working on this material is for this moment, and you're all incredible. Share that energy on the stage tonight. Be supportive. You know, still reach for the goals that you have as performers. As Bradley said, have fun and enjoy it. Don't fight the tendency when you have anxiety or nervousness to rush the show, because we all want to enjoy it. They want to enjoy it. And like, you know, we've talked about, it's no day but today, so just enjoy every second that you have on stage. And appreciate each other for the gifts that you all bring to this project, because this has been an experience that I will certainly never forget. All right, I love you all. You're going to be amazing. All right, come on in.
Everybody,
Drop the mic on three.
just live in the moment and enjoy every moment.
So what's the 3 words? Drop the mic.
No day but today.
No day but today.
No day but today.
1, 2, 3.
One thing that people learn from Rent is that like love and forgiveness and like just a community and a family together will always overcome like the challenges that you have in life.
I've learned a lot, you know. I've learned a lot about life, about family, about music, and being able to share it with an ensemble that have been together for 3 years, some that are new. It's just the first day you blend and you come together, and I just want to say thank you.